Dossier of Jessica Heather Silvermen American, by way of Los Angeles, California, Atlanta, Georgia, Las Vegas, Nevada, Beaufort, South Carolina, Dale City, Virginia, Fort Collins, Colorado, Denver, Colorado, and if you wonder where my sweet southern drawl comes from, it's Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Obviously, the only city not included is the one I currently live in for safety and privacy's sake. Appropriate contact info, email for the channel/team. Simply extraordinaryloremasters@gmail.com. And a personal email set up for social media and fans correspondence. Because after all, I do love you guys, and enjoy talking with you, the polite ones anyway. The ones who do not send me photos or get hung up on my looks, jessicaheathersilverman@gmail.com. Just be respectful and remember, no simps, wimps, or pimps. Please. Stats: date of birth, October 13th, 1995. Height, 5 foot 4 inches, 64 inches, 162.6 centimeters. Weight, 127 pounds, 57.6 kilos. Bust, 36 inches, 91.5 centimeters. Waist, 24 inches, 61 centimeters. Hips, 33 inches, 84 centimeters. Cup size, E, double D dress size. Impossible with my shape. Size 10 up top but size 2 or 0 below. Parentage Swiss and Austrian Jew. Paternal French and Israeli Jew. Maternal faith or religion Jewish by heritage. Non-observant Jewish until recently now. Proud Christian surgeries and or augmentations. Tonsils and appendix removed. Metal plate on collarbone and screws in wrist and arm. Regular breast reductions. Every couple of years, due to an hormonal issue, it causes continual growth of my breasts, and their size compared to the rest of me is fine C through large D to small double D, but after that, they cause bad back pain, requiring removing approximately 1.5 to 2 cup sizes every 2 years or so. Please don't make jokes. Imagine the problems caused by any body part that rapidly grows your entire life. There are plenty worse curses than big boobs that nearly double in size and weight every 2 years. But this is the issue I have, and they hurt and cause back problems and other issues unique to mothers. Plus, no matter how talented or smart you are, having blonde hair and big features makes life a constant repeat countdown until the next person I meet that refuses to treat me as anything but an airhead or bimbo with spring-loaded legs. My most important stat to me is my body count, unrelated to sharpshooting. I can count it on one hand without using my thumb or middle finger. Valor isn't always what you do in life. Many times it's what you choose not to do. It's wise to give me the respect I deserve without making me demand it. Especially because I can hit a bullseye at over a mile away. That should be remembered before saying something slick. Transportation equipment. Jess is both the long-range support and the tactical driver, meaning the vehicles both the Mobile Command Center FOB, Forward Operations Base, and the all-terrain combat vehicle are her personal equipment. Portions of the vehicles equip and service other team members, and the member-designated acting quartermaster deals with resupply, logistics, arming, reloading, and the secure mobile bivouac camper and first aid emergency medical station. Simply put, a pair of tanks, one outfitted with a pantry, armory, cafeteria, residence, and hospital. The other tech center, surveillance hub, artillery, ordnance, ranged reinforcement, staging re-equip, resupply, reload point. Both armored to the gills, expandable to sleep 3 each and connect into a larger unit. The most custom and unique pair of Toyota 4Runners you will ever see. Both vehicles possess fixed inner armor from state-of-the-art design and technology, in many cases, alterations and improvements from standard stock models mainly by Alpine armoring. Improvements range from upgrades in durability and quality of the fabrication materials, meshing where design internally lacked room for expansion. Additional aftermarket parts and improvements were added. Both vehicles also have mounting plates and additional framing to support visible external armor. The rear cargo areas in both are by far the most secure points, with a potential 4 layers of armor, each complementing the next. Internally, both vehicles have a 5 foot by 5 foot by 10 feet removable room constructed of 1/2 inch thick cold-rolled machine steel with Dutch-style doors, front and back, locking gun ports, 2 front, 2 rear, 4 each side, single-piece forward and rear window, high-caliber rated bulletproof glass. The next layer is the 4Runner itself, appearing in nearly every way, the same as any vehicle on any Toyota lot in the world. However, the body and windows are rated standard bulletproof, painted with heat-resistant polymer for protection against being stuck near open flame, or covered in gasoline as intimidation to force exit from vehicle. Anything short of magnesium thermite will burn itself out before it damages the vehicle enough to either burn through or heat the interior significantly. Both great, cage-fabricated and solid-plate fast-bolt attachable shell armor for the Mad Max look of barred windows and shielded body, or the fully sealed and contained shell of a tank or armored security truck. Self-inflating run-flat tires with interior two-stage chemicals that form a semi-solid rubber gel once tire is damaged beyond possibility to hold air. Shielded wheel wells, armored brakes, hydraulic doors and windows. 360-degree lighting around under and above vehicle illuminating 10 yards around the vehicle in every direction, as well as multiple million candle-watt spotlights designed to provide near-daylight illumination, shielded fuel tanks, pursuit deterrent systems including caltrops, road slick oil, and dense blinding smoke. High-pressure incendiary vents on drivers, passengers, and in rear of vehicle, capable of several 7 to 10 seconds bursts of flame, able to reach alterable ranges as near as several centimeters from the vehicle out to between 3 and 4 meters away. That means the vehicles have flamethrowers built into the undercarriage that can be aimed positioned to prevent anyone or anything from being close enough to the vehicles to try and force entry or do anything else to the vehicles. Engines sealed and vented to allow vehicle to run submerged in water as deep as the roof of the cab itself. Electrified door handles. Last but not least in the way of protection, each vehicle is equipped with a fire extinguishing system for the engine, passenger cab, cargo hold, and exterior of vehicle, with an additional manual-operated canister of fire foam. The stationary systems have automatic sensors as well as controls accessible two ways. One with an emergency total deployment, two-step control on the column of the steering wheel, a switch located inside an openable or collapsible orange case to prevent accidental triggering of system, and the digital controls accessible through the touch screens in the dash of the vehicle as well as in the rear. These master controls can activate and disengage each section individually or all at once, unlike the switch on the steering column, which is a total deployment and total shutoff. As the image to the side shows, a storage panel in the side of the vehicle exists to house the manual extinguisher. However, Jess's wisdom has placed the fire extinguisher in an alternate storage location and used the intended space for an emergency item she uses far more often. Personal note about her: she is physically incapable of explaining the storage priorities, detailing her more frequent need to use a machine gun than a fire extinguisher without either an ear-to-ear grin or outright giggling about. Primary pilot of the R-22. Robinson, 2018. Helicopter for insertion, extraction, pursuit, and observation. The craft has no weaponry beyond the abilities of its passengers. Likewise, it has no armor. It is, however, equipped with a 1,000,000-watt spotlight like the vehicles and an infrared camera with GPS tracking location for footage recovery, verification, and validation. It fits easily in the garage beside the Forerunners and has its own rolling platform to allow it to be pulled in and backed out as if it had wheels instead of skids. The only additional external upgrades are the skids themselves, which have platforms 3 times wider than normal, inspired by SWAT deployment vans, allowing one to safely travel outside the fuselage. Additional stability handles and rail attached to body of craft as well. When captain is deployed or Jess must shoot, Vedant Patel is also an accomplished pilot and fills in as first alternate in all cases, except when he must pilot one of his drones during a mission requiring use of multiple aerial contact or pursuit. Equipment. Arsenal. Remember, the noted intention or purpose doesn't mean or claim to have been used on said target per se, without making the ordnance thought up to fit the requirements from lore and fables. It couldn't be tested, and the right ammo is like a condom on a date: better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. Captain humors me and makes just about anything I ask or think up or finds a way to get hold of it. Vedant tends to make only what he wishes, and what he makes, he alone uses, almost exclusively. In all cases, everything is at least tested for functionality on a range to be certain it works. Only a moron goes into battle with unproven equipment. Remember to take it with a grain of salt is all I'm saying, cause who knows what really works on creatures only around these days in stories. That said, no matter what the lore and myths called for, nothing has gotten up after Captain spears it in the heart, and or takes its head, or I make it, 4 times as whole E with 2 to the head and 2 to the heart, nor has anything come back from exploding or cremation. So if supernaturally immortal cryptids exist, they don't pop up on our radar as of yet. Beasts, bad guys, and monsters. Yep, but immortals and things able to step outside physical scientific reality. So far, when put to the name, immortal is put to the test. None have proven worthy of that term. My personal tools of the trade: .50 caliber anti-armor sniper rifle, Barrett 82A1, semi-auto 12.7 by 99 mm, with depleted uranium dart, silver full metal jacket, thin stabilized sabot armor slicing, incendiary Winchester Wildflower 4-gauge, shotgun, white oak, rock salt, mixed metal, BB shot, Hellboys the Wicks slugs, 60 stacked Dremel blade, coins and discs, Master Blaster 8, gauge industrial shotgun, roll of quarters, silver coins, hollow iron spike, blade inspired for Faye, Winchester model, 1886, 50, 110, WCF, that's Winchester center fire, custom crossbow inspired by Avalanche Trailblazer style, with limbs made from a Skyjacker leaf spring of you guessed it, a Toyota 4Runner adjustable 220 and 460-pound draw, and a devastating 700-pound draw requiring special ratcheting crank cocking tool fires, heavy bolts upwards of 440 feet per second, and heavier explosive grenade bolts 300 yards with nearly no drop, nicknamed Da Vinci's bazooka. Although it is entirely a peachy design and creation, the name hints at the era a crossbow may have been state-of-the-art in firepower, and Leo was brilliant like Peach is, there is no denying that. Spider Shark 8-point hooking head bolts with 50-foot cable line, Armor Cracker solid metal bolts, Dayglow orange, 1/4, 1/2, single and double TNT stick equivalent sphere, tip boom bolts, vertical, horizontal, and tri-tip bores, head razor bolts, spring-loaded grapple climbing bolts, carabiner and pulley stringer bolts, threading and securing thicker, heavier climbing rope, 10,000 12 and 15 gauge needle tranquilizer bolts, 10 and 12 for fur, 15 for skin, silver broadhead hollow, quicksilver also called mercury-filled bolt, twin 1911, Nighthawk custom Firehawk, 45 ACP, that's automatic Colt pistol in solid black color set of H&K, VP9 tactical and VP9 EDSK, that's Heckler and Koch, and the VP stands for Volkspistole, which translates to People's Pistol in German, and the SK stands for subcompact 9mm with suppressors and optics, handmade custom compound recurve, yew, oak, and mountain maple bow, two 40-pound pulls with a remarkably minimal 75-pound draw, thanks to unique pulley design, Hoyt Carbon RX9 Ultra, 70-pound tombstone color. Bow RX means reflex. And so what if I'm spoiled? Some gals like shoes and jewelry. Me, I like having the third arrow on the way. Before the first one even gets there, from so far away, long-distance rates may apply just to hear 'em hit the mark. My bucket list goal is to shaft shoot a Robin Hood in the same 3-shot volley. I know they mean the same thing, it sounds way more cool this way. Bullseye, wham bullseye, split the first, wham bullseye, third shot splits the second, wham. How cool would it be to split it the other way, like a cross or an X1 vert split, then horizontal? Net launcher ace capture net guns, lycra and wire mesh, net with steel weight. Skills. A busty, buxom blonde bombshell version of DC Comics, Deadshot. Mistress of any weapon, any range, she's one of the if not the finest shots on Earth, an expert as a vehicular warfare driver, pro equipment operator of tanks and armored vehicles, track and tire. Helicopter pilot it. It has wheels or tracks, propellers, blades, or jets. And if it shoots, she can move or fire it better than just about anyone. She could drive circles around the fast and furious characters while shooting their tires out, and might have become the first woman ace of Top Gun's pilot capabilities. Had she followed that career path fully, there is no doubt she would have the required 5 air-to-air dogfight kills by now. But that's a story all of its own, a master archer and former cover model, magazine and advertising only never revealing any nudity. Much like our beloved and honorable peer, Gina Carano, they both have undisputed abilities and unparalleled beauty, and more importantly, they have unquestionable ladylike class and character. Their conservative modesty makes them more rare than twin unicorns in this shameless era that so often celebrates vice and debauchery. Neither of the two world-class beauties sleeps around or even shows any level of experience. Organization. Name redacted as a ground asset. Duration classified. The only thing that can be said about the work she did at this time would be that if you knew what she did, then she had done it wrong. She possesses a unique skill set that is capable of solving problems at significantly greater distance than anyone else in the related fields. Organization and position. Classified as classified. Duration. Classified little is at liberty to disclose about this period of years of her life. Apart from when she was done, there was nearly nothing she could not fly or drive, and she was a mohawk, a stuffed koala bear and punk rock outfit away from being the tank girl. Lori Petty wished she was. For the record, Lori did a perfect job in that role. A certain Bureau of Investigation, not federal as a sharpshooter. Duration redacted. Having earned the level of expert shooting 40 for 40 in her proficiencies in marksmanship evaluation under previous employment, her ability retained and if anything honed to a higher level is considered a distinguished expert. Toxophilus as a competition archer, during summer of 1996, to undefeated to this day. Had I more experience to match my abilities when I started archery in 96, I would have done better than Lindsay Langston, who lost to Kim Kyung-wook of South Korea, who took the gold. I would have medaled at least, but certainly not done as poorly as 22nd place. I haven't been in a single competition since 96, where I didn't make the semifinals and finals, if not win the whole thing outright. I had less than a year for the Atlanta Games, and even though I shot better, there was no way to illustrate the consistency of my skill. Sadly, it's no longer in the games, or I would get the USA a team and individual gold and break Natalia Nasaridzi's, Turkey, record set, in the same 96 games of shooting 168 in an 18-arrow match. Some trivia: the famous actress Gina Davis competed to represent America in 1999 for the Sydney, Australia 2000 Olympics. She scored 24th out of 300. Not bad for movie star with an archery hobby. Never missing is my profession. Marvel's lady version of the villain Bullseye from the Daredevil series. But I'm a good guy. I only look badass. What one-year-old with a toy bow wouldn't look cool? The humor or point is, I have been shooting all my life from little suction cup toddler toys before I could walk up to. Now please remember, these are just some cool archery facts to entertain. And I was born in 95, which would have made me a year old for the Atlanta Olympics. Captain was there though. Taekwondo as a Education NRA Marksman Qualification Program. NRA Explore Distinguished Marksman Month 20, XX, Month 20, XX, Camp Perry, Ohio. ACID the 500-acre range, CMP Talladega. Marksmanship Park in Alabama, CMP is Civilian Marksmanship Program. ACID the NRA 50-yard range in the basement of NRA headquarters, Fairfax, Virginia, and NRA is National Riflemen's Association. Fashion Institute of Design and Merchandising graduate, August 2014, June 2015, Los Angeles, California. Graduated with minimal accreditation necessary to pursue my true passion of designing wearable body armor, like the clothing in the John Wick movies, and received my recommendation to attend a series of higher learning institutions that led to my dream of becoming a pilot by every measure of the word, as well as learn to drive or operate any craft on this planet, land, sea, or air. One day, with luck and a chance meeting with Elon Musk, I will be able to add space to that list and truly be the fastest, most accurate woman to have ever lived. I want my tombstone to say there was nothing she could not drive, shoot, or blow up better than anyone else in the world. University, degree, bachelor's, community, college, degree, Associate of Arts locations, redacted to prevent Awards, beauty pageant, state, regional, and branch cosplay, costume, contest, numerous marksmanship, countless wins. Remarkably, for a woman who has never exposed my chest fully in public, much less had them photographed, I have won the Best Boobs Award at least 10 or more times. My file contains more photos than documents. People have always preferred to see what I do, unlike the captain. People prefer to hear about what he does and has done, although for much of my past and some of his, the statement that if anyone ever knew what was done, we didn't do it right, fits well, as does our success is best measured by the lack of an event rather than an engagement to report. That is after all the purpose of my skillet in being able to hit a target from so far away, and his skill set of being able to make no sound, remain unseen, and win fights before the enemy even realizes they are in one. Monica Itagaki's ability, where tasting, breathing, or even touching something she applied her craft is decisive. Vedant Petal and his gadgets and drones and other less permeant / more situational or probationary members of team, see their dossier for more in-depth information.